Let me help you.
No, I've got it under control.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Stop it! Did I get any in my mouth?
Oh my God!
Welcome to A Cast with No Name. We are your hosts. I'm Jay.
And I'm Matt.
This is episode 29. This episode will be continuing our spooky movie month, scary movie, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Spooky.
Spooky. As we discuss Sam Raimi's 2009 horror comedy, horror comedy, Drag Me to Hell.
That's right.
But first, don't forget to visit our website. You can find all of our other episodes, and you can comment on episodes. You can write to our email, all that good stuff. And we'll just say from the get-go, movie came out 13 years ago.
Yes, it's old.
It is.
In relative terms.
Yeah. So we're just going to hop into spoilers, but go see it. Or go see it. See it.
See it, yes, I agree.
I don't know where it's streaming. I
have no idea.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yeah. I had it.
I had it too.
So
I
think we wanted to talk about it too because it's just a solid movie.
Yeah.
That I enjoy.
Yeah. It's a kind of horror
yes.
movie that I like. But yeah, go see it. It's worth watching.
It's very good, yeah. It's kind of under the radar. No one really talks about it.
Yeah, and
I don't know why. Why is that?
I think because it had some spooky elements into it, but I think the comedy threw people off.
Oh, well, it's Sam Raimi.
Yeah, and to where
That's what he does.
Because a lot of the comedy that he does in this movie is more of a gross out kind of factor.
Or just odd.
Yeah.
There's some scenes in it that are just, you're just like, what is going on? He's just taking a piss.
Yeah, to where... he does take the piss out of some of the scenes and stuff, and he kind of undercuts it with humor to where if you're looking for a straight, I want to be scared shitless, this isn't the kind of movie for you. No. It's Sam Raimi when he does horror, he knows, he knows it's goofy. It's goofy by nature, and he takes advantage of that. But he is able to set up several scenes to where it's pretty... It kind of gets you a little bit.
It does, yeah. Absolutely. So. Especially in this movie.
Yeah.
That's why this kind of stands out to me, because it's very creepy and suspenseful in certain moments, and then it just gets undercut by a gross, weird scene or just a weird, absurd...
Yeah, mixed in with all the suspense scene to where it kind of like elevates it in a way, adds levity to the situation. So it's not getting too... serious. Dour, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah.
You want to set it up? What's it about and all that good stuff?
Let me do that.
It's got some good people in it.
A loan officer, played by Alison Lohman, evicts an old woman from her home, finds herself the recipient of a supernatural curse. Desperate, she turns to a seer to try and save her soul while evil forces work to push her to a breaking point.
That's a good summary.
Yep. Directed and written by Sam Raimi, also written by the help of his brother Ivan Raimi, and stars Alison Lohman, Justin Long, Ruth Livier, and
Lorna Raver.
Yeah,
who plays Mrs. Ganush, which is a great performance. I love it. She's great in it.
But yeah. So all right? There's two versions.
I saw the unrated one.
You did see the unrated one?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
Okay. And then I believe it's the unrated one. It's also the director's cut.
Yes.
I saw that version as well.
Okay, good.
I don't think I've seen the theatrical cut.
Okay. I did it. I saw it in theaters, so I've seen it. Yeah.
And when looking for clips for this movie, I stumbled upon, I was looking for a scene in particular, and I saw the theatrical cut, and I was like, wait, that's not how I remembered it. And then I was like, oh wait, hold on. And then I modified my search. I think it was like the bloody nose scene, unrated, and I had to sign in to YouTube to be able to view it. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
That is a big distinction between those two versions. Is the nosebleed scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's
and I think there's more mouth,
a lot more mouth,
more mouth in the thing. But
yeah.
So I didn't see this until first time I saw this movie was with your sister.
Okay.
My wife.
Yes.
And
one and the same.
Yeah, one and the same.
Okay.
No, both of them same time.
Yeah, both. There you go. You animal.
Because she is really into Halloween movies, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to watch Drag Me to Hell?" I was like, "I've never seen that."
There you go.
And
something that you've never seen that she has.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised by that movie. Just with, I love that humor. I don't know what it's just so gross and enjoyable. But yeah, that was the first time I saw it, and it was probably 2013. Maybe.
Okay.
So
I saw it when it came out.
Okay.
I'm just a big Sam Raimi fan, so it delivered on everything I wanted. Yeah, it's not like Evil Dead or Evil Dead 2 even, where, well, especially Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, where it kind of just hits you over the head, where it's mainly comedy.
With some horror
elements. This is a horror movie with comedic elements. He kind of flipped it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I like. The horror part of this, like the suspense where she's getting, stalked and haunted by the spirit, is pretty damn good. It's really well paced, and he doesn't do a lot of there's not a lot of special effects. It's just a lot of noises. I think the sound editing and the sound in this movie are just phenomenal.
I have the sound effects. They just the Foley person who Foley sound effects is for those of you who don't know, Foley sound artist, what they do is they create the sound effects. So if you have a scene where someone's getting hit in the face, they don't Google sound effects. They will like hit their hand against their fist. They'll take someone's getting hit with a bat. They'll hit like a bag of rice or a bag of beans or what have you to try and get the sound effect. And I think working on this movie was probably a blast for that, just because the sound effects are so over the top at times, like with the old lady coughing, to where it just sounds like a normal cough, and then just adds like this gurgle, like phlegm coming up to her mouth, and
and I love the score. The music's really good. It's got that creepy violin to it, and it's got this like orchestra feel to it, and then it gets undercut by like the creepy violin, which is just kind of off. It's unsettling, a little off-putting. You're not expecting. It's like a curveball. It sets up the mood right. It's a good score for this movie.
Yeah. But it also, it holds true to a lot of. Raimi puts his stuff in here. The only thing is like Bruce Campbell doesn't make an appearance.
No, he doesn't.
But that tan Oldsmobile?
Yeah, it's always in it.
Is always in it, because I think that that was Aunt May's car in Spider-Man. It was the car that all the teenagers take in Evil Dead.
Yeah. It's Ash's car,
Yep.
And Army of Darkness, all that stuff.
Shows up in The Gift.
Yep.
And so it has
it's
some
in
of
for
that.
love of the game. It's Kevin Costner's car.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And so you have that bit in there to where you're always seeing, I think one of Raimi's brothers is, was it Ted? Maybe not. I don't think.
Oh, he's in the movie?
I thought I saw him.
Emma Raimi is in it.
Okay. Anyways, family members.
Family members.
Random Raimi members of the tribe.
Yep. Do you guess who else was in this movie that I noticed when I was watching it? I was like, is that Octavia Spencer? She's in the background as one of the bank tellers, and then sure shit was her. Before she won an Oscar and all that stuff. But yeah, it says here Ted Raimi's the doctor.
Okay. Yep. And but then it also has the typical, you think you're out.
But they pull you back in.
Yeah, you think you're out of the situation, everything's fine, and then at the last moment, all hell breaks loose again, which he did in the first Evil Dead, the second Evil Dead, did it in this, did it in the most recent Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. to where, and that's kind of like a Raimi-ism to where, oh, you think happy ending, and then nope. And,
sure isn't. A lot of Dutch angles.
Yeah.
Does a lot of that. A lot of quick editing and close up. He does that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of close-ups.
A lot of close-ups, especially with mouth. I don't know what the theme of this movie. It should be drag me to my mouth.
Yeah.
That's what it should
I
be
have
called.
that in here. Everything in the mouth. Like, that's all.
Everything it's to the point of like absurdity,
Which,
and it is absurd.
yeah, we touched on the nosebleed scene.
Yeah.
Which maybe, because some of these things that we're going to reference, maybe I'll add links to the clips so that way people can watch them, look at it if they haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Or at least see the version that we saw.
Yeah.
But
well, let's start with the setup of the story.
okay.
Right. I think it's great writing.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually has a story and developed characters.
Sure does. Sure does.
And it's shorter than Halloween Ends.
Amazing.
Yeah. So Alison Lohman plays Christine Brown, and
she's great in it, by the way.
yeah,
She's awesome.
And the entire time I was watching it, I was like, how come she's not in more
Movies?
Yeah.
I don't
more
know.
Stuff. Like, the only other thing I remember seeing her in is Big Fish. She plays the young
Jessica Tandy's
younger version.
She was in Matchstick Men with Nicolas Cage.
She played the kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the 13-year-old, but
Yeah.
she's 18 or 19.
Yep. And so Alison Lohman plays Christine Brown. She is a loan officer at a bank, and she is trying to get the assistant manager position at her bank. Her boss, played by David Paymer.
Great.
Yeah.
Love him.
Perfect.
Yeah. He's great.
Yeah. Plays her boss, and so she's trying to get a promotion over one of her coworkers, which is played by Reggie Lee, who plays Stu. And a lady comes in, and she is behind on her mortgage payment. And just creepy old lady, just disgusting.
Oh, the
coughing.
gypsy.
Yeah, the gypsy. And she's asking for another extension. Times are tough and everything else. She goes to her boss, says, hey, this lady wants an extension on her loan. And you can kind of get the feeling from her boss saying, well, we gave her 2 extensions already. And
it's a tough decision. I'll leave it up to you.
Yeah, terminate it, but it's a tough decision. I'll leave it up to you. And she wants that promotion, and she's got to one-up herself over Stu, so she denies the extension.
Right.
She does not take that kindly, and she attacks Christine in the bank. She gets dragged out she's begging on her knees, and Christine says, sorry, I can't help you. And she's like, I begged, and you
shamed me.
Yeah, you shamed me. And so she gets dragged out by security, and she tracks her down in a parking garage later, and the gypsy woman puts a curse on Christine. Fast forward a little bit, weird stuff starts happening to her. She's dating a guy,
Justin Long,
who is not funny in this at all.
No.
He plays a just normal straight
vanilla character.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
doesn't really have that much to do in the movie, but that's fine.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like it was just he wanted to be in a Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah. He doesn't show a lot of range. You don't need to though for it. It's her movie.
Yeah. And so that's the
setup.
That's the setup. So where she for the rest of the movie, she's trying to get rid of the curse. And she tries out first on her own, then she goes to see a seer. And then hilarity ensues.
That's right. And I like how they set her up to where you feel for her. You feel like sympathetic for her because she has like an eating disorder because she used to be a bigger girl and she grew up on her farm and she's trying to win over her boyfriend's parents who don't want her to date her because she's just a farm girl. She doesn't really have any clout to her name yet.
Yeah, they want him to marry
like
equal
a Yale,
to his status.
Right. Like a Yale law graduate or something.
Yep. And she's not a bad person. And the only reason why she denied the loan mortgage extension is because she wanted that position. She really wanted that position because she overheard Justin Long's character, Clay, talking to his mother, and his mother saying, who is she? She's a farm girl. So she felt pressure about getting the promotion, which she wanted for herself. Then she felt the added pressure of also needing the promotion to impress Clay's parents. And in that, also her boss saying, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. If you want this, you're going to have to do this.
It's good dialogue, too, when who is it? Sorry, not Reggie Lee. That's the actor, Stu. Stu comes up and the boss, Mr. Jax, says, "Hey, could you take your lunch break now? And while you're out there, could you give me a turkey club?" And then Stu pops in. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Spicy mustard on mine, please, Stu. Thank you."
Yeah, and she brings the sandwich back, and he says, "Oh, you didn't."
You got mine wrong.
You got mine wrong when she didn't.
Yeah.
And I said, like, that's such a good character because I see people pulling that shit
all the time,
trying to
one up
position themselves in a air of authority, so that way they could step up, or to try and make themselves seem authoritative to other people, even though they're peers, but just trying to look good in front of the boss, so that way they can
make the other person seem incompetent.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's creepy.
Douchebags.
Hate it. Yeah, but that dialogue was great. I like how they're trying to make you root for Christine in the movie, because if you weren't rooting for her, then
you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like Halloween Ends. So
let's talk about that movie some more.
But yeah, they do a good job of you caring about the characters.
Yes.
And other than, but they do it without the expense of hating other characters. I mean, other than Stu, but I mean, you don't feel any ill will towards the boss. You don't feel ill will towards the boyfriend. To where, which is tough because some movies they do that, to where in order to elicit empathy for the main character, they make other characters dumb or mean or just nonsensical antagonists, to where it's nope, it's just her, you're just rooting for her. And they do that successfully without diminishing other characters,
right? And they're doing, like, Stu, for example, he's a bad guy, but like towards the end of the movie where she's trying to pass off the button to other people, is he really bad enough to warrant his soul to burn in hell for eternity? She wrestles with that, and then she's still a good person, where she's like, no, he doesn't deserve that. He's trying to one-up me at work, but he doesn't deserve that. Yeah. She's like, I already killed my cat trying to lift this thing. I don't want to, like, do another awful thing to kind of sully my soul or whatever. So yeah, you just root for her the whole time. And then that's why I love the ending of this movie. Yeah. It's so ballsy. It's good.
One thing I did, that part in this, so at the end, toward the end, the seer, played by
Dilip Rao.
Yeah. Rao?
I think it's Rao.
Rao?
Yeah.
I'll defer to you because
Dilip Rao.
he
was in like this.
Oh, Inception,
and he was in Avatar.
Yeah.
So he went like on a string of movies here. Some classics.
Raimi, Cameron, Nolan. I mean, Jesus.
Jeez, man.
So he plays the seer, which he's great in this.
He is really good.
And he tells Christine, there's a medium that has experience, but she's not cheap. And he says she requires $10,000, and so that's like kind of a small portion of the movie, to where she's trying to like she needs this money,
needs the money,
and she ends up getting the money, and they go to the medium, and the first thing she says is because at the very beginning of the movie they do a short intro, and you don't know who it is, but the medium that she ends up meeting was the medium at the beginning of the movie,
right?
That dealt with the similar kind of demon back in like the 60s. And she meets her, gives her $10,000. She says, yeah, I have personal experience with this. I've waited years of my life just hoping to have the chance to be able to face down this demon again. And blah, like, just makes it sound so personal. I'm like, you also needed $10,000, didn't you?
He sure did.
I was like, it obviously wasn't that personal, because it's like, I feel like if that was the case, then she would have done it for free.
Yeah.
And that's my only gripe about the movie. The only thing that kind of stuck out in my mind to where I feel like maybe she could have met the medium earlier, trying to get her, and then once the medium finds out, they could have done a nice little scene to where, oh, you're talking about this kind of demon, and then she could tell that story, and she's like, I've waited years to be able to do this. I'll do it for free.
Right.
And I think about a scene in Game of Thrones when Tyrion is in prison, and who's
which prison?
When he's in Red Keep and he's like on trial by combat, and then you have the Mandalorian comes in and says,
I would be a champion.
Yeah, he tells that story of meeting him as a baby. He's like, oh, you were just a baby, and and he's like, and the mountain raped my sister, and blah 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 blah. He's like, I will be your champion. Like that kind of. I felt like it could have had that kind of feeling in a scene like that. That's the only thing I think I would have changed in this movie, just because it would have been that much more. Oh, things are starting to work out for this character now, to where it just create that much of a downfall later.
Yeah.
But.
Well, the spirit came to her for because of a wrong decision. She didn't follow her heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to cast it out for the wrong reason. The only reason she did it was for money.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything there really to from the heart to cast it out. Forever. So I don't know if they did that intentionally, or I don't know. Maybe that's why they did the $10,000 thing and they didn't do it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Either way, what'd you think of the whole seance? That whole scene with the dancing demon above the fire and then the goat talking.
It felt very Sam Raimi. With the goat talking, I was like, Evil Dead. Like it reminded me of like the demon just started taking over all the other bodies, like like just a weird, kind of losing your mind kind of feeling.
Yeah. Inhabiting everything. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
the goat saying, "You bitch." Yeah, and then possess that one guy, and he starts doing like an Irish jig above the. This comes out of nowhere.
But
it's funny.
But yeah, let's listen.
Cool. Oh no! Okay. Set this scene up, Jay.
All right. So, with this clip, so the curse has already been put on Christine. And it's starting to freak her out, and she is dealing with that. Stu comes to her desk and starts to
do Stu things,
and she's just trying to keep her shit together.
Yeah,
but things are looking up. She is kind of handling this loan for the super big business venture. It's the largest loan the bank's ever had, so it's very important to her to keep it straight. She's starting to look better in front of her boss, and then this happens.
Hey, Christine. What are you just getting here?
What are you, the hall monitor?
Ha. Very funny, Christine. Oh, what's this?
What do you want?
I need you to finish teaching me the loan procedures.
I've got a lot on my mind. Can we do this tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll just tell Mr. Jackson you don't have the time right now. Maybe he can tell me.
No. Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. We were going over the asset-based lending guidelines.
Right. Let's say our client is a company that can't get traditional bank financing.
And?
And get your filthy pig knuckle off my desk! Christine Blood Brown.
Christine,
Your nose.
Sure. Can you hold?
Let me help you.
No, I've got it under control.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Stop it! Did I get any in my mouth?
Oh my God!
Did I get any in my mouth?
That's so good.
I'll put the link in the description of this
Yeah,
episode. But yeah, you can hear the blood kind of dripping out of her nose, but then it just sprays everywhere, and the whole setup with her just kind of slowly losing it, and then David Paymer, did it get in my mouth? And he's just covered in fucking blood.
Yeah. And he says it again. This thing goes on. You can hear him in the background, and she's talking to somebody on the phone. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
did anything get in my mouth? In the background.
but it's a running theme because
Yeah.
you have that scene. You have a nightmare where she has when the old lady's like on top of her and just vomits all these maggots on top of her, and half goes in her mouth.
Yeah.
You have a fly that goes into her mouth.
Yeah.
The run-in toward the beginning of the movie in the parking garage, her teeth fall out. The old lady's teeth fall out, and then she's like gumming
Her entire face.
her entire face and chin to where like her gross mouth is inside
Yeah.
Christine's mouth, and that's probably one of my favorite parts too. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Gumming her.
yeah,
And then she sticks the ruler in her mouth.
Yep.
She spits it out, coughs it out.
yeah.
Then she goes to visit Mrs. Ganush, realizes that they're having a wake for her in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to look at Mrs. Ganush. She knocks her over for whatever reason. She's wrestling on the ground with the corpse, and then the corpse falls on her face again, and it's like
It just vomits like
all this embalming fluid on her or whatever.
Oh, I think it was just bile or something because it felt like a natural burial where she wasn't embalmed, and then you have the scarf goes in her mouth.
Yep.
Everything just goes in her mouth.
Right. The cat pops out of the mouth of
Yep.
that one demon, which
Yep.
is like, I don't want your cat, and pukes it out of the mouth. Yeah, it's just constant in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff on the mouth. But that's just Raimi. He just does weird shit like that, which is funny.
But yeah, but I like it's just the tension, the growing tension, and then just the over the top gore. Did any of it get in my mouth?
Yeah. Yeah, there's little dialogues, little nuggets like that are just out of left field. There's a scene where Christine and Justin Long, Clay, his name's Clay in the movie, goes to visit Clay's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, did you notice the dad was, you trying to say that Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? Yeah. The guy from Major League.
Yeah, Major League. No one's questioning your faith here.
Yeah. Well, he's in it anyway. So they're talking about they walk in, and then they have a cat, like, you know, growls at Christine, and then she's like, oh, you know, I had a cat, and Justin Clay's like, you have a cat?
Yeah.
And then she goes, well, how would I know? And everyone's like, there's like awkward silence for like 5 seconds. She's like, you know, because cats, you know, they come and they go. I don't know where they are. Okay. And then they just walk. It's just an awkward. Anyway, there's little things like that throughout the movie that are funny. But yeah, it's just a good, fun movie.
And it's not. I don't think it's obviously I don't think it's Raimi's best movie, but it's a good. I don't want to say mediocre because that sounds bad, but it's just a good average movie. I feel like that's enjoyable. It's not. I mean, it's not. It was never one of those. It's
not an event movie.
Yeah, it's like, it's super good. You have to see it. It's not one of those movies, but also I think it's a lot better than what, I mean, IMDb gave it like, what'd they give it? 6.6.
It's better than that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's got
a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I think it's original. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't ever feel like, I kind of want to watch Drag Me to Hell. Like, I never really have an urge, but I'm always happy when we watch it.
Yeah.
To where because I forget about the sound effects and the amount of, I mean, it's just enjoyable.
It is.
It's kind of like chicken noodle soup a little bit.
Yeah, and it was space between Spider-Man 3 and then Oz the Great and Powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably something where he was like, I just need $30 million in like 4 months to shoot this. Please let me do this because I want to do something fun between doing these two giant, massive properties that I'm going to dive into for the next couple years.
And I am surprised that there isn't some movie studio, whether it be Universal or whatever, that just I don't, maybe it didn't make a lot of money, and maybe that's what their concern is, but I'm surprised Netflix or somebody just hasn't gone to Sam Raimi and been like, tell you what, I'll give you $25 million per movie for the next 10 years. Just come up with some weird shit and have fun, because it is a fun movie, and I feel like there's not a lot of movies like that to where you can tell people had fun making it. And this is, I feel like, the kind of movies that he enjoys doing.
Absolutely.
And I wish there was more of them.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of horror comedies, and
especially original stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Not a lot. Well, I'm looking at the stats here. So, yeah, I was dead on. $30 million production budget, and it made $92 million worldwide. So, they made a profit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, if you consider, they probably spent 10 to 15 million probably in marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make more.
Double your money.
Just make some more.
Like, hey, if you give me $30 million, would you like it if I gave you $60 million? Yeah.
Please.
Or, wait, $90 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not a huge production. I mean, it's not going to take up a lot of time to film or anything. I mean, there's the bank set, there's her house, there's a couple scenes where they're in another office, which might have been in the same set, and then the manor set, and that's about it.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of. The special effects feel dated.
They do now, yeah.
But he knows how to do special effects, so and he has a name to where I feel like if he just did nothing but these movies, I feel like there'd be some pretty big name people that would just want to be part of it.
Right.
Just fuck it. Yeah, I'll do a Raimi movie.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Well, and the special effects, I think they're intentionally, now I don't want to say bad, but they don't need to be like pristine.
Yeah, no.
Because it's a comedic effect.
Yeah,
that's why it's there.
It should be cartoonish,
right,
in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish he just made nothing but these kinds of movies.
Yeah. Wait, no more Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? Oh, I'm sorry, Scarlet Witch movies?
Well, I will.
Oz the Great and Powerful.
If they give him another Spider-Man, I'm all about that. If he does another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, that'd be.
So I just watched Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 with Liam and Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
They both loved it, and I forgot just how good Spider-Man 2 is.
Spider-Man 2 is
is a fucking awesome movie. It's fantastic. I haven't seen it in forever, and it's wonderful. It's great.
It's probably my favorite superhero movie.
It's up there.
I'd say that'd probably be my number one. And
it's very good.
I remember the first time I saw it in theaters. But what do the kids say? Fucking slaps is
that the new thing?
It slaps?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
It's probably old now. If I heard about
slaps?
it's fucking old. It slaps for shizzle.
It's lit, Jay.
It's tight.
Tight.
But fucking.
Yeah, we said all that stuff, didn't we? Yeah, what were we saying?
Oh, another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man
Oh,
movie.
yeah, that'd be great.
So I'd like him to do these funny horror movies, and just like the kind of gross out kind of movie. I'd like to see him doing more of that.
You know what it felt like, actually? Because when we did the top 5 Halloween movies, and I rewatched Creepshow and Trick or Treat, the Halloween arc, and just the pacing and the beats of those types of stories, this kind of felt like a prolonged version of one of those stories, just by how it started and how it ended abruptly. Mm-hmm. Kind of like a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
So when I watched it again, I thought of that. I'm like, wow, this is like a long Creepshow story, but very well done.
Yeah, and it's not because it's a pretty quick movie. It's like
an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half. Hour.
It goes by
minutes.
quick though.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels like one of those stories.
Because of the ending.
Yeah.
It ends on
a downer, like,
a big downer. Yeah. You're like, oh, man. That sucks. But you kind of saw it coming, though, like with the envelope, and then when the seer licks the envelope again, you're like, oh, they're doing they're going to switch it up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back from the coin collection thing and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I wish people would give him money to do more of these things.
Yeah. Because they're you either get like a $10 million budget or $20 million budget, or you get a $300 million budget, and that's it. There's no in between. Mm-hmm. But you don't need even $50 million to do a movie like this.
No, yeah. I mean, 20, 30 million still, I think he could do, especially since he's very good. He's a very good filmmaker, meaning he can do a lot with very, very little. And I think 25 to 30 million, even in today's dollars, he would be able to do some pretty fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm surprised like Amazon or Netflix or somebody hasn't just said, here you go.
They do with everyone else.
Yeah, I know. Like shitty people, too.
Maybe he doesn't want to do it. He took that long break between Oz the Great and Powerful and Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Well, he did Ash vs. Evil Dead. He probably directed some of those.
Yeah.
He's kind of doing that. Yeah, he might not want to do it. I mean, he's getting to be retirement age, but I feel like he still likes.
Yeah. Likes doing this.
Still likes doing it.
Oh, when I was watching Spider-Man 2, they were trying to figure out Doc Ock's name, and they go, Doc Octopus, Doctor Strange. He's like, I like that. Yeah. It's like, oh.
But it's taken.
Yeah. I was like, callback. Who would have known? 20 years later, he does a Doctor Strange movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I enjoy this kind of movie from him.
I do too.
It still feels like something a first-time filmmaker would do, but I don't mean that as an insult. Like it feels goofy enough. It feels it's clever enough. He doesn't feel like a jaded filmmaker. Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't feel like he's phoning it in. You can tell he's having fun with it.
Yeah.
Just with the tiny details that he puts in, with the tiny bits of dialogue, the sound effects, all that stuff. You can feel the fun in it.
You know what? This movie is like, I'm thinking of, future topics that we can talk about. If we did like a top 5 movies that were solid that you always forget about. Mm-hmm. But then when you revisit it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. That movie is really good. This is like one of those movies where I watch it like every, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and you just forget about it. Mm-hmm. And then when you watch, you're like, wow, I forgot how good this movie is.
Yeah.
This is up there.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be a future topic we could do.
Yeah, because it's not like going to be like, I want to watch this over and over.
Yeah, it's
and
not
over.
one you're like, oh, you got to see this movie. It's not one of those. It's just, it's like a pleasant surprise almost. Yeah. We're like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
How is this good?
It's not like Back to the Future or Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
the first one.
It's never going to be a classic.
No.
It's kind of it's like you said, it was in between Spider-Man 3 and Oz, and it's kind of like a palate cleanser for him.
Yeah.
To where it was like when Favreau did Chef.
Oh,
in between Iron Man 2 and whatever the hell else was it?
What, Jungle Book or
the line? Yeah, Jungle Book.
Something like that. Some $300 million monstrosity.
Which he literally made a movie about a guy trying to figure out why he fell in love with his profession.
Right. No catharsis there. No projection. Right. Working on his demons.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
I recommend it too. It's fun. It's
good to watch during Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for the sound.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I'd watch it in the theater again, just because the sound's amazing. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah, creating tension.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good book. Pretty good example of how to do that with shots, the editing, the sound, just using everything at your disposal.
Yep. It's the only horror movie too to where the characters aren't overly comedic, like Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, where the character itself is a comedic take on is comedic in the main protagonist. There's everyone here is playing it pretty serious.
Yeah.
And the comedy is just an after effect of the situation. The characters themselves aren't.
Yeah,
comedic.
the situation is funny. The characters are.
No.
Yeah.
They're dead serious.
Yeah. And I feel like other people cannot do that. Like, I can't think of really anyone that could. Because either if you do a horror film, it's like, it's a straight horror film.
Oh, you're talking about Sam Raimi can do that.
Oh, yeah. Sam Raimi can balance that tone, can insert those comedic effects without it ruining the overall movie because it fits.
Yeah.
And it's not just like a one-off thing. I mean, he's purposely putting that humor in there, and it works to where I don't think a lot of filmmakers could balance those two tones well.
Without it overtaking the other.
Yeah, without it, overtaking the other, or just coming off ridiculous, or just people are like, oh, no, that wasn't any good.
Right.
Like, oh, it didn't take itself seriously enough, kind of a thing, which I don't think anyone would say this about this movie, because after watching the whole, like, the humor feels like it should be there in this kind of a movie. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it ends with the poor girl being dragged to hell, just like the title.
Well, it's what she gets.
It's what she gets. Lady didn't pay her mortgage, Jay. Come on, what are you, a communist?
Didn't. Well, and FYI, yesterday, because today's the 24th.
Sure.
If you're listening to this, it's the 24th. Yesterday was Sam Raimi's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
What is he?
October 23rd. He's a man that works in Hollywood. He's born in 59, October 23rd. So,
math is hard.
70.
70, huh?
60? No.
No, 63.
Jesus. 69.
63. 63 years
79, 89. We're doing the math. 99. 09. Yeah, 63.
63 years old.
Math is usually my strong suit, but...
Oh, yeah. I'm only an accountant.
I don't need numbers. I got a calculator.
I got a calculator. I got my T800 here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he still got 2 years left, right, before retirement age?
Yeah.
Just pump one of these out.
Starts collecting that Social Security.
That's right. Maybe then he'll start making more movies like this.
Hopefully. His next movie is, apparently, what I see is like World War III. Or wait, no. The King Killer Chronicle.
What the hell is that?
Pre-production. Feature film based on Patrick Rothfuss's book about a young man who grows up to become a notorious magician.
Oh.
I don't know what kind of book that is, but that I feel like could have
potential.
Yeah. Has written 2 of the 3 books in a 10-year time, blah, 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 blah.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I'd like for him to just do fun, small.
Yeah, no more. I don't want big budget like IP tentpoles from major studios.
Yeah, there's too much other hands in the pot.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously proven that he can write original material
Mm-hmm.
that people will go see, and you can make some money off of it.
Yeah.
So just do that.
Yep. Or
Spider-Man 4?
Spider-Man 4.
I like it. I'll do it. Yeah, exercise your demons from Spider-Man 3 because people thought that wasn't very good. Which there's some weight behind that.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2 is fucking...
It's really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
So, well, anything more on...
No, I recommend it. See it. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Way better than Halloween Ends.
God, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's masterclass on score, sound effects, building tension, editing, shots,
all that stuff.
So creative and fun. And it's fun to watch movies like that. You don't get a lot of movies where you can just see that people are having a good time.
Yeah,
the filmmaker's having a good time, and
it's a very underrated movie, and it doesn't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So see it, enjoy it, you'll love it. If not, well, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please.
And we're gonna delete them.
Yes.
So.
Well, Jay, what are we talking about next time?
I don't know. Oh, Matt.
Yes.
Join us next time as we discuss House of the Dragon.
Oh yeah,
Episode 8, 9, and 10. So
comes to an end, at least this season.
Yep. So obviously it's already come to an end.
Yes.
But
by the time you listen to that, yes.
But yeah, so we're gonna be we'll be talking about that next time. So.
And Nicole, I promise we're gonna get to the top 5 most confusing movies.
Yep.
/ movie endings.
Yeah. So
we got to reward the people that actually participate in the comments, Jay.
I know. Yeah. Which aren't we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do that because, a listener, Nicole, wrote in so that she wanted to. Yeah, us to discuss the top 5 confusing endings of a movie or confusing movies.
Correct. Yes.
So, should they still be confusing, or do we do the top 5 of the first time I saw this I was confused?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Kind of a thing.
It's fair.
Because I'm such a nerd to where I read so much trivia or background about something to where
it's not confusing to you anymore.
Not really. So
because you're just so smart.
No, I just read what other smarter people have thought.
Figured
I was
out.
like, I'll take that as my own.
That's what I thought.
That's my opinion now. So
you're one of those people.
I am.
It's unfortunate,
but so yeah, we'll have to figure out how we want to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, because who did Mulholland Drive?
David Lynch.
David Lynch.
I actually mentioned that.
Yeah. Every single one of his movies, I could probably just I don't know what's going on.
That's very true.
So
you could just say David Lynch.
Yeah. His filmography.
Yes, everything he's ever done.
But yeah, that'll be fun. I'll have to think about it too.
Oh yeah, me too.
I know that there's movies I saw to where someone would be like, well, it's open to interpretation. No, that's fucking bullshit. That's just poor storytelling.
That's right.
So I am not a fan of confusing movies.
I'm not either.
Because I find it being lazy.
It's very lazy.
Where I feel like the writer didn't even know what they wanted to do. Like,
yep.
I'm being obscure for the sake of being obscure.
Right. It's like J.J. Abrams and Lost. What happened there?
What happened there?
No one knows.
J.J. Abrams is what happened there.
It's very true.
The mystery box.
Mystery box. Oh, by the way, I was right about Rings of Power.
What happened?
Called it.
Yeah, what?
Halbrand was Sauron.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Ah, good.
I called it.
Spoiler alert.
It doesn't matter. No one's watching it anyway. I'm not watching it. I don't even care.
That's funny.
And I knew it. I knew it.
You did. You called it.
I fucking knew it after that stupid scene on the raft.
See, it's the epic storytelling that puts this TV show just up on that pedestal to where it keeps you guessing.
It does, right? Mystery box.
Until you figure it out at the very first 5 seconds because they fucking telegraph shit.
They telegraph it. They zoom in. They emphasize lines of dialogue. It's
this guy's important. This guy's important.
Right.
Is it Saruman? No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Saruman?
Red herring.
Soren. Jesus Christ.
Stupid. I'll never finish it, so whatever. I don't care enough.
I have not watched it past the 2 episodes.
I haven't either, Jay. I want to watch Halloween Ends. Yeah.
I don't know which I'd rather watch. Continue Rings of Power or rewatch? Probably continue. Oh, God. There's 8 episodes.
That's 8 of that. Yeah, I'd rather watch No. I just get more mad. That's a tough decision. Maybe we should talk about that. What would you rather watch? Halloween Ends again or...
I will say a good thing for the Rings of Power sucking is I think it kind of elevated The Hobbit a little bit.
Oh, good.
For people. To where now they're like, oh, maybe The Hobbit's not so bad. Kind of like what the sequel trilogy of Star Wars did to the prequels.
Yeah, people are reanalyzing it.
Yeah, we're like, I guess the prequels aren't bad. That's still not as good as the original, but it's just because you saw a shittier version since then. And which I kind of always liked The Hobbit, though. I mean,
I always liked it. Yeah.
As being fun and stuff for the movies.
It is. It serves its purpose.
Yeah, but yeah. So, what the fuck were we talking about?
We're gonna talk about House of the Dragon next time.
House of the Dragon, episodes 8, 9, and 10.
That's
we will break it down.
That's right. It's gonna be good.
So, looking forward to it.
Me too.
All right.
All right, Jay.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any comments or questions or anything you want us to talk about, please feel free to write in. Website and email is in the description, so please feel free to do that at your leisure. So, but Until next time.
Until next time, Jay.